Hi students, and welcome to this presentation by Student Support Services. The topic today is COVID-19, losing our normal, dealing with the grief or loss you may feel. The disruptions we've experienced in our normal routines of everyday life can contribute to the lingering unease and sadness that we may be feeling. We are all mourning the loss of normalcy and all need to adjust. Often, our adjustment is a process, and grief can form part of that process, to adjusting to and finding a new normal. Things we may have lost during this time and due to the pandemic. There could be job loss of a parent or caregiver, which could result in the loss of financial security. There could be loss of daily routine, going to university, attending lectures, hanging out with friends. There could be loss of safety, where we might feel that danger is lurking now when we leave our homes. There could be loss of connection due to the lockdown regulations and social distancing. There could be loss of special plans we had for this year, and even future plans, with the future now being uncertain. Grief is typically associated with death, but we can experience grief for any type of loss. We can experience grief for a breakup, and we can experience grief for the things that we've lost during this time and due to this pandemic. We can also experience something called anticipatory grief. That is when we experience grief when anticipating further loss still to come. For example, you could be planning your graduation next year, and now you're uncertain if graduation will happen or when the academic year will end. You could have been planning to see your grandparents this year or spend the holidays with them, and now you're uncertain as to when you would see them again. So what do we go through when we experience grief? Here are some of the stages you might find yourself going through. Denial. This virus won't affect me. Or maybe this virus doesn't even exist. Anger. I'm forced to stay at home. It's taken away all my activities and all my plans. Or you could even be angry at the government or authorities due to the regulations. Bargaining. Okay, if I social distance for 2 weeks, everything will be better. Everything will be alright. Or maybe I can just sneak out and spend time with my friends. I mean, it's just gonna be 2 hours. Sadness. I don't know when this will end. Acceptance. This is happening. I have to figure out what to do next. It's important to understand that grief is not a linear process. That means once you've gone through one stage, it doesn't mean you're going to go through the next, and then finally come to acceptance. One day, you could think you've reached acceptance, only for something to happen and be back at anger again. And that's okay. Grief is a process, and it's okay to allow yourself to go through that process until you have fully reached the stage of acceptance. So how do you move towards acceptance? There's something powerful about naming what you're experiencing, naming and acknowledging this as grief. We need to name our emotions and even acknowledge the stage of grief we're at. Feel our emotions, express our emotions, and let it pass. Let yourself feel grief and keep going. To experience these feelings may not be pleasant, but it is normal, and it is to your advantage to face your feelings in manageable chunks, and often that's all you need to do to work those feelings through and move on with life or keep going. Acceptance is where the power lies, as we find control in acceptance. As we accept the reality of the situation, we can start to problem solve and we can start to choose how we want to respond. For example, you could start practicing COVID-19 precautions. I can wash my hands. I can keep a safe distance. You can start adjusting to the new reality. I can learn how to study online. I can create a new study routine. Here are some daily tips to help you cope during this time and with the grief you might feel. Set goals. Every day, you can choose a specific goal. It doesn't have to be something big. It could be something like exercise for 20 or 30 minutes. Choose to reframe situations. Even though some situations are negative, there could be something good in it. For example, even if it is just a lesson being learned. You could practice smiling and see if that uplifts your mood. You could practice gratitude. When you wake up in the morning, you could think on and meditate on the things that you're grateful for. You can connect with loved ones, friends, and family members. You could join online support groups. You could have Netflix parties. At the end of the day, you can check in with yourself and ask yourself, what went well today? What am I happy about? What am I proud of? And that could be something small. It doesn't have to be anything huge. If you still find yourself struggling to cope daily, please contact us to book an appointment for counseling. We offer online sessions via Zoom as well as email counseling. Email Ms. Makatini on the address on the slide to book your next appointment. We are with you on your journey to success.